Welcome to Hellenic Voice, the podcast that celebrates Greek culture. In each episode, we explore literature, poetry, archaeology, theatre, the Greek language, and the connections of Hellenism with other cultures, as well as with the Philhellenes around the world. Welcome to Hellenic Voice, the podcast where we explore identity, culture, and the Greek experience through conversation, memory, and personal journeys. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Lord Jonathan Marks, a member of the House of Lords and a leading barrister with a long-standing connection to Greece, its people, and its culture. And we are recording this conversation here at the House of Lords. In this episode, we explore how that connection began, what first drew him to Greece, and how his understanding of this country has evolved over time through travel, experience, and close personal ties. Lord Marks, thank you very much for being here. It's a real pleasure to welcome you to Hellenic Voice. And I would like to start right at the beginning, if I may. So thinking back to when Greece first came into your life, whether through reading, stories, or early impressions, how did you first become aware of the country?
Well, I suppose the answer to that starts at school, because from a very early age, I learned ancient Greek, and along with learning ancient Greek, there was a study of the literature, and we went to Greek plays, and we read Greek plays and Greek poetry, as well as learning the hard graft of the grammar, and learning to write Greek and to read Greek, and I enjoyed it. And I took it all the way through to university entrance, and then later continued to read it. So that was the start. I then went to Greece on travels during university, and then cutting forward a few years, I met my now wife and mother of our children, who is Greek. And since then we've spent a great deal of time in Greece, and my children are of course half Greek.
So there is a big connection here. When you just first, your wife, and you got involved with the families, I mean, did you have like a culture shock? You know, as Greeks we are loud, we are tactile, sometimes we can appear as over-friendly. So how was that to you?
That's a great question. I don't think over-friendly. It is very friendly, yes, but I'm used to people being friendly. What I found interesting and very different from the average Brit was that Greeks often sound, and certainly my Greek family often sounds, as if they're getting very cross with each other, when of course they're not. But they do tend to get excited, and they talk very loudly, and it sounds as if you're rowing. And at the beginning, when I hardly spoke any Greek at all, I'd listen and I'd ask, why are you all getting so cross with each other? What's this row about? And the answer came back, no, we're not rowing at all. This is just friendly conversation. And that, I think, was a bit of a shock, because we're, as a nation, the British are pretty quiet and reserved, and we express ourselves fairly carefully and tactfully, very careful not to offend. And I think that is not necessarily the way that Greece works.
That's so true. And I think you just said, like, when I didn't speak Greek. So that means you can speak Greek now. And how did you learn your Greek?
So I speak some Greek. I don't speak good Greek, but I have enough Greek to get by. And the answer to that is that when I became engaged to my wife, I decided that I wanted to learn some Greek because I wanted to make a speech in Greek at my wedding. And so we had a tutor, and I did tutorials with him for about 6 months before the wedding, and then kept going for a couple of years afterwards. And then constant travel to Greece has meant that I've kept it up, and I enjoy such Greek as I can speak, and I can get by.
Thank you. And when you think about Greek culture more broadly, like food, conversation, family life, social interaction, what aspects have you come to appreciate most deeply? What do you like the most about Greeks, let's say?
I enjoy the atmosphere in Greece. I enjoy the way that people are friendly, that they're outgoing, that they speak their mind, they feel things deeply, and I think Greek people are very welcoming. I think they're also particularly welcoming to British people, because there's a long history of friendship between Greeks and British people. And I think that is very important. For my part, I love being in Greece because we have a house there, I have family there. My children, of course, two of them have Greek degrees, so they know Greece very well, and they all know Greece very well. We enjoy the water, we enjoy boating, we enjoy social life in Greece. I enjoy going to exhibitions in Greece and museums, and I love archaeology. I mean, I love going to visit sites, and that's something that is very special in Greece.
Would you like to tell us more about the history, because you just mentioned history and archaeology. What do you like the most about Greek history? And then I will ask you to tell us about the connections between United Kingdom and Greece.
Well, I like to do that. I mean, my Greek history started with the ancients, and because I did classics, I learned an awful lot about ancient history through the literature. And I had a whole series of teachers who were absolutely fascinated by it. But cut forward a long way, I've been very interested in more recent Greek history. I mean, I think that the struggle for freedom, the struggle for independence. So our house in Greece is in Spetses, which of course had a very central part to play in the struggle for independence. I was at the same school as Lord Byron was, who of course played a big part in the independence struggle, and that I found really very interesting. Then we've just had the 85th anniversary of the Battle of Crete, which I think was a really important feature of Anglo-Greek friendship and cooperation. Not so much in a formal way, but the very fact that the Germans in the war launched this huge airborne attack on Crete, and the British forces, the Australian forces, Canadian forces, New Zealand forces were there fighting alongside Greek patriots and farmers, citizens, priests, everybody helping each other in the resistance. And then later when Crete fell, because it was a defeat in form, the Greek people really helped so many Allied soldiers escape. And I think that's rather cemented this friendship. And the very fact that we had a celebration of the 85th anniversary here in Parliament a week or two ago was very important. And I'd say to that, it's very rare. We have this celebration in the Speaker's House. The Speaker's House is a very dramatic, beautiful building, but it's very rare that it's sort of lent out to representatives of other countries to celebrate something like that. And that was a special sign of the friendship that there is, and that continues.
So, and I have to thank you for the touring today. This is an amazing experience. I'm really grateful. But I want to ask, do you think other members of the Lords, they think the same as you, or is it because your special connection with because you have a Greek wife? What is, do you happen to know? What do they think about Greece?
there's a bit of each, and I can't speak for all members of the House of Lords and all members of the House of Commons. What I can say is, of course, I have a special connection, but quite a lot of people have a special connection with Greece here. There is the tradition of English interest in Greece, of Philhellenism. There is a very strong all-party parliamentary group on Greece, which is in both houses, the Lords and the Commons, led by an MP who is half Greek Cypriot and actually half Italian, but he's got a very close relationship with Greece. And people follow what's going on in Greece. I think there's a very strong tradition, for example, of cooperation between the armed forces of the UK and of Greece, and between parliaments. We are very proud to think of this parliament as the mother of parliaments, but we're also very conscious of the fact that the birthplace of democracy was Greece, and the democratic traditions are very strong. And although, I mean, we've left the European now, I personally regret that very much, but we had a very long time as co-members of the European Union, and I think that was important and enabled people to form relationships. And they're, of course, multiplied by the fact that so many people come from England to Greece every summer for tourism, travel, for interest in seeing what Greece has to offer.
That's
Greek food,
quite
restaurants,
true, yes. And actually, you know, we can see it at the Greek embassy whenever there is an occasion, like the Independence Day. We always have lots of British people there to celebrate with us, which we feel really honored, you know, and we would like to thank you and all the other British people that they come and join us for this so important anniversary for us. Now, I will ask you, if you don't mind, what is your opinion about the Parthenon Sculptures?
Well, my opinion is not necessarily universally held. I personally believe that the Parthenon models ought to go back to Greece. I've been to the Acropolis Museum, which is the most beautiful building and fantastically well sited. Of course, the argument things were better in the British Museum's taken a bit of a knock recently because the British Museum's had its own problems. But Parthenon models, I do think, belong in Greece. I hope that there will be some diplomatic solution. I think it will involve some Greek treasures coming to England. How the situation's ultimately solved, I'm not sure, but there's a lot of goodwill in the government. There's a lot of goodwill among politicians, and there's a lot of desire to find a solution. And my own view is that within not very long, my lifetime, I think, we will find a resolution to this problem.
This is so, you know, encouraging. Thank you so much. And may I ask if you have visited the Acropolis new museum in Athens?
Yes, I have. That's
Yes.
the museum I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Very soon after it opened, actually. And as I say, it's a wonderful museum and a very worthy home for the marbles when they do come back.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Is it anything that you don't like about Greece or Greeks? Please feel free to say that, we don't mind.
I think the relationship between officialdom and the Greek public is sometimes quite touchy. And I know that a lot of Greek people that we know find officials difficult, bureaucratic, and unhelpful. And that's a shame. Interestingly, I find that an awful lot of Greek officials are nicer to me and other Brits than they are to Greeks. I don't know why, but if there was one thing I'd like to change, it would be the attitudes of officialdom, the bureaucracy. A lot of this has changed, I think, recently with more use of technology. And technology is actually the public's friend and the government's friend in this, in bringing people together, because if you can introduce technological solutions, they act more independently and more objectively, and they're easier to navigate than difficulties with people who get cross a lot.
I mean, you do spend quite a bit of time, especially as you're saying, you do have to deal with things and the bureaucracy and these offices that perhaps you need to spend quite a bit of time. How do you find this, personally?
Look, I deal with it, I get on with it, but the answer to your question is how do I find it? Time-consuming.
Time-consuming.
It takes a lot of time to get things done sometimes.
And what do you like to do when you're either in Spetses or in general in Greece?
So we have a lot of Greek friends, and we do have a social life. We meet people, we spend time with people, we love the sea. All of us love the sea. And we spend quite a lot of time walking around, enjoying ourselves, but we're usually there to relax. I do have an office in our house in Greece, and so I do spend some time working there, but I try to keep that down, and it's a much nicer place to work than here anyway.
Did you have the opportunity to visit the Seferi exhibition at the Greek embassy, and what do you think?
Yes, I did. I thought it was very interesting, but there was an occasion when I went and the ambassador showed me around the exhibition, and it was a remarkable collection of things that have been put together. And I think the more that kind of exhibition is put on, the more it helps people understand the connections. So I thought it was good.
Do you like any other Greek poets or authors? Have you read any Greek books? Because I know you can understand Greek, or even a translation.
As I said, two of my children read Greek at university, and they read Cavafi and loved him, and my wife likes his poetry. So, although it wasn't a great corpus, a huge amount of work, it's all very moving and touching. So that would be the quick answer in terms of modern Greek poetry.
Yes. What do you miss the most when you are away from Greece?
Sun. And Greek people. I meet a lot of Greek people here, but yes. And Greek people. Greek people together have a sort of life and a vibrancy that's really nice. And we love Greek food.
Thank you. And we have to say about Lord Byron as well. And I have visited his house, last year actually, where he started his poetry. And he used to love Greece as well. And it's so nice when you give us the opportunity to hear, about your love for Greece. We're so grateful. And is it anything else that you would like to add or to say a message to the Greek people, or something, a special place that you love?
Well, I think there is a message, which is that in spite of the fact that the United Kingdom left the European Union, the friendship and the mutual dependence with Greece and the feeling that there's a very real relationship lives on, and long may that continue. And I think it does get better and better. So that's part of it. And the other thing I'd like to say is I'm very grateful to you for giving me the opportunity to talk about Greece. Along with many, many other Britons, I'm a great lover of Greece, and it's a pleasure to take part in this podcast.
Lord Mark, thank you so much for sharing your reflections and personal experiences with us today. It has been a real pleasure to hear about Greece through your eyes. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with others who love Greece and meaningful conversations. Thank you, of course, to our listeners. Until next time, I'm Vasula Christodoulou. We spoke with Lord Marx, and we thank him so much. And this was Hellenic Voice. for listening to Hellenic Voice. If you enjoyed this episode, please support us by sharing it, leaving your comments, and following us on social media so we can continue this journey through Greek culture together. Until the next episode, the voice of Hellenism continues.